All right, all right. I'm Guillaume. I'm here joined with Rosalie, aka Crypto Queen. This is Stop Losing, Start Trading, the live trading show that we're doing 3 times a week. This is our way to discuss trades. How can we actually construct a balanced portfolio, and how can we actually discuss what we think about the market? Given, it doesn't move much, but when it does, there's always an options trade for this. Nothing we say here is financial advice. You should do your own research. What we say here is also related to Panoptic, but it's also true for any options protocol. There's a lot of risk involved. Know what you're doing, and then use this as entertainment. So, yeah. In the meantime, how are you doing today, Rosalie?
Good. I'm doing well. I had a little debate yesterday with
Oh,
synthetics
yeah.
versus options. I
How
was
did
really
that
careful.
go? Who won?
Yeah, I definitely won. He said we both won, but I think that was just a little
He
cop
was
out.
he was the host, so he was in control. The host and the referee, and also the participant.
It was rigged. But yeah, no, it was great. So I think
Yeah, I
there
like
was a lot of insight.
I like you again. The perp world is very known, but you give a good analogy about like a car, a sports car, maybe worth relating it. How you contrast perp versus options.
Yeah, it's like a car that can only go 100 miles, 0 mile, negative 100 miles, or stop. And I think you need, a car that can go all different speeds so that you can maneuver through whatever it is you're driving through. Otherwise, you'll crash.
Exactly. I found this very yeah. It's like a drag race. Yes, you want to go fast sometimes, but if it's picking up your kids, you don't want to go 100 miles, which is this 5x, 10x, 20x leverage, or back up 100 miles, which is short, even more dangerous. Maybe you want to have some granularity.
Yeah, I think the race cars, they have to slow down before they turn, right? And switch gears. So.
Wait, you're from Germany, right? Have you like driven on these autobahn where there's no speed limit?
No, but my dad has definitely with me in the car. They are putting more restrictions now, and so there are speed limits usually, and there's traffic everywhere and
So,
construction everywhere.
so you
So
do it maybe middle of the night because they're very straight. Or why are they okay with allowing people to go super quickly on those?
yeah, because I don't know why. I mean, people just drive really fast and they're very cautious, and one lane is just for overtaking, and the other lane is for driving. And so there's one fast lane, and then the other lane that you drive in.
Depending on where you drive. I drive often from I'm in Boston to Canada back and forth. People that stay on the left lane and slow down the traffic. I don't like this. So the Germans are very, very, at least, are very good at following that unspoken rule of don't spend any time in the left lane.
Yes, definitely. My dad always gets really mad at people here doing it, or here too, when there's 5 lanes, you can, come from the other side. Unheard of in Germany.
Does he swear at them in German? I guess very scary. What would he say in German if he would be stuck in behind a very slow car in the left lane?
I don't want to say.
Okay. All right. I never swear, so I don't even know what I would say in French or in English. So this is good.
Good,
But,
good.
but yes, trading perps are very binary, and options allow some flexibility. I was impressed. So the was it what's Bert, or what's the name of the?
Bert, yeah.
He was also selling options, or at least he let on a little bit more than he think. He's definitely in the perp side of the crypto trading world, but he knows about selling options, which is what everything pretty much is about too.
Yeah, it's great when people have some retail experience and options. I think Robinhood definitely gave some people some familiarity, and now we're here in crypto to change that even more.
Exactly. So, without further ado, we can go to the markets. I think the market has been sideways. There was not much activity on the past week, but might as well look at it. And maybe, yeah, let me get rid of that extra. Doo-doo-doo. This is high tech. Okay. The markets have been kind of sideways. I think most of our positions are still in range, so it's not much. But since that kind of maybe a month would be worth it. Yeah, since a month, very very back and forth. We thought we were in another bull market, hit 2,900 thereabouts on ETH, went back to what seems to be a stable coin at 2,500. Um, Over the 3 months period, again, I'm going to be saying this often, but when there's a big move, the safe bet is to assume that the move is over and you have stability. This is what we see. There's still lots of price action, but you're kind of at this new level. If there was a new buyer, they would do it. Now it seems to be back and forth, maybe more small place. So following big moves, I like to be selling options and waiting. Now I'm getting a bit more cautious because the longer you're stable, the more kind of dry powder there is, and the more chance there is to explode. We'll see maybe with the Fed meeting announcement. There always is kind of the longer you're don't see these big moves, the more likely it seems to be happening. So I would always Carolize deploy more capital following these big moves. And then now I'm actually reducing, making it so that instead of being 50, 60% utilization, I'm at 25, which is good. Again, there's volatility is low. You're in this quiet period. You don't want to extend yourself during this time. So ETH, quite stable, even though it seems like there's a lot of action. It's very, very back and forth. Bitcoin as well. I think it's also fine. I look at maybe there's a competition. The competition makes me look at it a bit more, but it's also been pretty stable over the past few days. Any other coins that you have maybe in your portfolio or on your radar that you've seen move or?
I was recently looking at Solana. I bought some more. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of these, so this is 3 months. A lot of these seems to be range bound. Last month, there is definitely some activity. Again, if you're bullish or Solana thesis, you can think of like the last month is quite low now. If you're bullish, you can buy or you can trade options, maybe Solana, ETH. But yeah, the Solana has been doing good. Same thing with Bitcoin. ETH has been lagging. So again, their all-time highs. I think they hit it definitely. Yeah, since the beginning of the year, but now it's pretty stable. Actually, okay. So we talked about this last time. So we can do ratio trades on Panoptic, not just ETH and USDC, but in that case, Sol ETH. So if you were to, we can see it on CoinGecko, but what do you think the price action was over the past month on the ratio of Solana to ETH? Did Solana overperform or did ETH overperform the other one?
Um, Maybe ETH outperformed it, but I don't know. It seems like Solana definitely outperformed it at some point there,
Yeah.
maybe.
So this button here you can compare to ETH. So I think now it's going to show the
Okay.
ETH price. So yeah, I think if you go say 1 year, is this the right way? Yes, it's okay. So this is the value of Solana in ETH terms. So again, in the crash of FTX, it was very price low in terms of dollars, but also low in terms of ETH. Now it's going up. But yeah, I see that over the past year, definitely overperformed. Now seems to be going back to a stable level. That could guide the type of trades we do if we were to open a Sol ETH ratio trade. We used to eat BTC ratio trade, but this is a new one, and I think that that should be one that Intern does, and then maybe we'll discuss a trade on that. But this is also a interesting trade. Both of them are quite liquid. Both of them are backed by a lot of funds, so you can expect the ratio to be um, uh, almost orthogonal, a different trade. It's not tracking the price of Bitcoin; it's just tracking the relative performance. So you can make some solves from depending on the trade. So very very cool. Yeah. Anything else on the markets that you maybe want to look at, or it's
No, I actually have not been paying much attention to altcoins recently. Tried to stay away from new memes and stuff.
Hyperliquid is ripping it for sure. New all-time highs, and this is again
Wow.
they are pretty good. I think at I mean use case great UX in marketing as well. So there's always kind of a they're in the public discourse very frequently. So now it helps with gaining attraction. But yeah, this is
Actually, could we look at Barachain? I haven't checked Barachain since they
oh
lost
yeah.
launched.
Are they top 100 still? Wait, let's see. I would imagine or not. Barachain. Um, what's the FDV? No. 220 million? That can't be, is it? I mean, I think, yeah. I mean, this. Oh yeah, full DV a billion, which is I think a bit low, but yeah, hasn't been going well. When did you get either an airdrop or bot, or what's your entry point? Very
Oh, no, no, no. I didn't buy any. I'm just close with the founders and
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not doing super well, both in dollar term and ETH term, even more. But yeah, Bitcoin. Yeah, so definitely, I'm sure they would like to be higher, but that's fine. A billion FTV is great. Barachain. A lot of the other ones, like this Mega ETH and more, that haven't launched yet. So this one is the first one to kind of all L1 that is very, very profitable. So yeah. All right. We're going over because there's not much more to talk about on the markets either. All of the Panoptic positions that Intern has is back to where it was, so there's not much. But just going back to the overview, this is the homepage. We can see the trades happening over the past few hours. Bunch of trades, people buying puts. It seems people selling straddles or calls. Um, we had a nice influx of liquidity, which is great on the ETH/USDC. So that means everyone can trade in a way that is little bit more capital efficient. Let's go and try to get the intern accounts. We go on pips. This is how I find them, because it's they're climbing 31st.
Nice.
Airdrop. I don't know who's gonna get. Well, yeah, points. They're worthless, but if it's an airdrop, this is kind of sustainable. We've done this for the past 4 months. I think it's a healthy amount, I guess, in terms of points, because we're sending the most. We're actually very active. So um, yeah, we're looking at the interns portfolio up on the whole portfolio level. This contains 5 markets. Again, this might seem like a lot, but it's just kind of trying to spread the risk around. A lot of what we have is Bitcoin, ETH, or Eigen ETH, or Ticker Bitcoin. It's like pretty invested in risky assets. So the ratio we trade is 2 risky assets. The bulk of our liquidity is still in ETH/USDC and BTC as well. But yeah, we just have more than one market just to spread the risks. Which one do you want to look at first? I don't think the intern traded anything since we last spoke on Monday, but yeah, was there one that you?
Yeah, let's look at USDC ETH since it's the only one that's down a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, so okay, this one is. We did open a trade, which was this risk reversal. This was very bullish. This was a trade where we sell a put, but at the same time also buy a call. Um, it's directional and the price has gone down, so it's hard to defend against this. But as long as the price doesn't go below 2,400, we're earning fees. Yeah, how do you feel? You are still, it's 2 days in, but yeah, I was still very bullish ETH, or this one gives you uh makes you afraid a bit. Yeah, what do you feel about this position?
Yeah, I mean, it makes me a little bit afraid, but I know that we have other positions as well. We could maybe open another position to kind of hedge against this.
Yeah.
Cautious of what's happening in terms of um, the news and everything. So I don't know. I think crypto is pretty resilient, but if there's like a war outbreak or something, I'm sure some people will get a little more cautious.
Yeah. So would you want to protect your downside, or get rid of the upside altogether, like this? And yeah.
Protect the downside for sure.
Okay.
I think upside is um, always good to have.
It's hedging the upside, which is great. We can look at the market info. So we're earning fees, which is great. We're getting paid $1 big, but we're getting paid on that, which is what you want to be. You take some risk, you get positive funding rate. It's the perp with positive funding rate. We can look at the whole portfolio P&L, including deposits. So yes, we're bullish in that specific trade, but the whole portfolio is also quite bullish. We have 1 ETH worth of delta, meaning that if the price 1.1, if the price goes down by $1, we make $1.1. But if it goes down, we lose. So I understand that if we're bullish, it's fine. But if we want to protect that downside, as you say, maybe a war, maybe some horrific event, maybe, I don't know, the Fed announcement is always priced in, but maybe there's something that is going to be unexpected. Protecting the downside is always good. But yeah, so Do you have a price target where you say if it goes below this, then yes, I definitely want to protect, or it's just uh,
Um,
any yeah.
yeah, I think maybe 24, 2300.
Okay. All right. So we have to remember. So here we're hedging the whole portfolio. We have two positions: a straddle, which is making money, which is great; a risk reversal, which is directional, and the price get went the other way, so we're losing a little bit. So here we have to hedge the whole portfolio. One key thing is that we have to know our delta. Again, if we did a live stream yesterday, but the first step is understand what your risks are. This is the payoff. Next, understand the delta. So we have 1.1 ETH worth of delta at the money, and it goes to 1.6 if you're out of money. But yeah, that would be what I would hedge. Let's add negative 1.1 ETH worth of delta to this portfolios that we have some hedge present. Yeah, this is good. So since the announcement is also soon, maybe we'll set it up. But what you want to do here, this is a protective move. We're not necessarily bearish because we think the price is going to go down, but rather we just want to get some protection so that if there is a big event, something happens. So it would be a better way to buy puts as opposed to selling calls. But yeah, buying puts might be a good way to protect because you're activating this only if the price goes down. But if not, you're just paying some insurance in a way, or just paying some fees to offset this. So this would be where we have a put option is a good way to do this. We can do monthly. There's a quite a bit of weekly option and daily as well. Oh my god, maybe not, but yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, this is a daily option out of range, so it's free for us. So that should kind of add some ring a bell in a way. Um, so if you look at this, this is liquidity that is being deployed. It's out of range because the price went down. If we were to buy this option, it's going to be for free. And do you remember how many deltas we had to protect or neutralize?
1.1, negative 1.1.
Yeah. So if you look at now, I know if it's out of range, then the delta is 100%. So if I just put 1.1 in the number of contracts, and I look at this, the tooltip, it's negative 1.1. So we're out of range, fully exposed. Now we're shorting almost, like we're getting a short of ETH, but we don't pay anything for it, which is great. And if the price were to not go down, we could even imagine closing it with no real loss. If it goes up, the max we can lose is $156. But if we see the price going below 2,400, then we make $160. So I would say it's a great hedge. FOMC meeting was one maybe key event. World is always burning, it seems, so that might be another key event. So I think that's good. And if we were to do this, we would kind of equilibrate the payoff. Yeah, good hedge. So that we take advantage of that out of range liquidity. Is there a weekly one as well that's out of range? No, they all are in range. So yes, I would also say this might be too good to be true, but yeah, a free option, free hedge. You like this?
Free options, yes. Although I am now cautious of checking in on this since somebody else might not want to give me a free option. So
Yeah, the other person is now kind of exposed, so they may be hedged, and that's fine. But yes, if they want to close, they may force exercise you. Who knows? But yeah, I would say that this is good. This is going to shift your payoff so that it's not risky on both sides, but it's going to move one side on my right side. Yes, it's going to move one side up. So yeah, it's actually this is great. So let's for those that are following at home, if you want to create these type of trades, it's as simple as clicking on a link and seeing the payoff. You just need to connect your wallet. Huge hides us. Huge URL with a big token ID. This is fine. Let me do the one here. This is not. Don't type this, but you can copy paste. I paste it on YouTube. You could trade that as well. Buy a free option. Protect your downside risks. Yeah, very good.
nice. Yeah, I see lots of really interesting trades happening. There's another trade that I'm curious to try out another time, maybe, but I think some people have been doing really interesting butterflies.
Ooh.
Um, and they were asking a lot of questions in our Discord. They're like, what is the catch here? And so I got a little curious myself.
Yeah. I mean, the we can show briefly what a butterfly looks like. And it's we don't do it here, but it's a actually let me create something that is a little bit easier to understand. But yeah, a butterfly is a trade that creates. Oh, actually, let's start at monthly. Yeah, this is a bit advanced. I would keep it maybe for a another one. That's true.
Okay.
Go look up butterflies. There's like it's a cottage industries of different strategies. Butterfly is either a long volatility or a short volatility bet. And the way this works is that again, long volatility means that you expect the price to move quite a bit. There's trade for this. Short is that you don't think the price is going to move a lot. The pricing that you get is dependent on the what the market decides. But yes, a lot of the times in unknown maybe events, you can be long volatility. The advantage of butterflies over say a straddle is that it's less expensive and you have a defined risk position, which is kind of limiting as how much you can pay for it. But yeah, um, a lot of butterflies in a weird way are quite popular for. It's basically arbitrage. You just have to do some trades that will say, I think the vol is mispriced, so I am short vol. It's going to go down or up, or long vol. But yeah, um, I don't know if there's one we can have a look, but it's also in a weird. It's a very specific icon or signature from the trade tape. Um, I've pre-traded some butterflies in the ETHUSD competition on base. Um,
Nice.
yeah, this is a big lizard. That might be the most interesting. Yeah, this is a big lizard. Let's have a look. But this is one trade. It's closed, but we can see the setup. It's multi legs. It seems to be in a weird way, kind of combining many things. The net loss, I think. But the key one is that they set a straddle, but they have upside protection. Anyways, this is the multi legs a bit more advanced, but maybe we'll visit this later on. So let's go back to the interns. Is this it? Nah. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong count. All right, one last thing. Do you want to have a? I think all the trades are fine. We can actually revel a little bit. If you want to look at the Eigen trade, we're now up 84% on that
Wow.
trade.
Almost
And
60 days.
this is good because this is a bearish trade. And then the ratio went down a little bit, but we're practically at the max profit. And we would make zero point 0.02, so maybe $100. So it's actually a good trade. Price did go where we wanted, so I don't know if you want to close this or keep it on. Um, bullish bearish Eigen.
Yeah, I think maybe it's time to close it and take those wins. I think we closed the other one as well, so we could open a new position
Maybe
here.
we use that capital for the Rapsol
Yeah.
trade. Yeah, perfect. All right, so let's go a quick setup for the trade on Rapsol, which is I think it's created, but no one has traded. Yeah, that's right. This is some former. So there's a lot liquidity. There's $47 in the Sol USDC, 14 million on Sol ETH. This is the liquidity on Uniswap. It's actually quite healthy. There's no liquidity on Panoptic, but we can certainly create a position. Um, but yeah, actually, we'll have some funds in the Sol pool. We can trade something on Friday. Very exciting.
Awesome. Sounds great.
All right, so I think again that's it. The market part of it. It's again we do maybe close the wins. This is great. We'll go to the second half of the show, which is the options hour with Brendan. I think Brendan disappeared, but he's gonna be back. His connection is always spotty. We'll talk about the recent news events again. That JP Morgan dollar, which is very interesting. Are you a Chase customer, Rosalie, or
Yes. Yeah.
how do you find their overall offering as a bank?
I think they're a great bank. They have really great customer service. I have yet to start investing with them, but yeah, I like them.
Okay, yeah, I was at Bank of America, and I had one overdraft amount one time, and I said that's it. never again. And then since then, I'm mostly credit unions, and it's
Mhm.
all like virtual, so you don't even have to have like a physical location. So uh, credit union maxi in Quebec, where I'm from, more than 60% of the people have a credit union account.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
very people maybe don't trust banks or don't use banks, but it's very, very more community driven for the credit unions than what I see in the US.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's one thing I said. Like crypto, we should have a crypto focused credit union. This is a model that works for farmers. For the army has their own credit union. The federal workers. I was at Cornell University. They had a Cornell University credit union. We should have a crypto credit union, and not get debanked. We are the bank.
That
Anyways,
would be a great idea.
we just need a funny name, and then now everyone will flock the Pepe Bank.
Yes.
Pepe Federal Credit Union, PFCU.
Yeah.
Here,
That's great. Starting businesses every day.
cool. Yeah, thanks, Rosalie. This is Stop Losing Starting. Now we'll go with second half, which is with Brendan. This is the. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I exited Rosalie a bit precipitously, but yeah, this is Brendan with Options Hour. How are you doing today, Brendan? Are you
A
there?
little bit
Yeah.
scared. World War III on the horizon. Can you hear me okay here?
Yeah. You're a bit blurry and there's a delay, but I think it's fine. If you
Okay, I've been
talk for a
having
while,
serious
then we can actually
Wi-Fi
catch up.
issue. Okay,
I like the
so yeah, a little
bonsais
bit
in your
worried waking up to
backgrounds.
all the news, lots of tensions. Yeah, yes, thank you. So, but you probably can't tell
I've
from
killed
here.
so many bonsais
Had it
on my
for
own
almost two
time too.
years.
It's hard to manage. It's not like Karate Kid. It's like very hard to maintain a bonsai
I had
live.
no idea. I thought they were easy. Yes. Well, I'll need to. I don't know. Maybe you're the wrong person to give me advice. I need some tips. So anyone, if you have tips, drop it in the chat. Lots and lots of uncertainty going forward as you with the whole situation of war in the Middle East. To do have the Federal Open Market Committee meeting concluding the Fed rate and now their projections looking into the I won't try to share my screen here, but maybe I can you can help me out here and we can look at some of the betting markets potentially on your side. If you can pull up basically.
All right, I can share. I don't know. Yeah, Brendan. I can look at the betting markets. I know that it's on Poly Market. So let me load it up, and then if you don't, I can go over the stuff. I don't know if you can change network or something. I'll try to do this for a little bit. But yeah, this is the betting markets on Poly Market. I think is it politics?
Let's try.
Fed decision. This is one of those where yeah, the market interestingly knew pretty early on last month. They knew what the outcome was going to be. No change, it seems. I don't know what happened this day, but everything else is down to zero. The next one was a decrease, so it's definitely not something that we expect. But Fed market predicts a 0%. I mean, close to 100% chance of zero change. This is again stable. I don't know what the markets if it's going to react in a way or not, but this is kind of the prediction markets. Here's Brendan.
Yes. Now I'm on data.
All right, so I was looking at the prediction markets for the Fed announcement. I get showing unless our friend Jerome does something unexpected, no change. It doesn't help my mortgage, but that's fine. What's the other politics? Yeah, the the different markets again. They pop up every once in a while. I know our friend Fozzie, who's kind of a Twitter influencer slash Poly Market Maxi. He notices a lot of things in the markets, and he saw something over the past couple of days where someone was buying quite a bit of the yes on US military action on in Iran before July, which is kind of 2 weeks away. There's always someone that knows, but now with Polymarket is going to express these views before anyone. Again, fortunately, it's like insider trading, but it's a world event, so you need to be pretty well connected to know what's going on with the US military. But yeah, it's one of those where we can have a. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, quite high. I'd say 60% on the brink.
This one is by the end of June, and then the other one's end of July, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. So the before June is 62%. Before August is 71%. So basically the same. One is true, I guess. So the delta. It's just like options trading. The delta between the two expiries gives you like the extra chance. Between 62 and 71, not much chance. So it's almost like built into, like, you cannot have July lower than June, but yes, it's almost like seems like the market think pretty closely it's going to be this month or never.
Yeah, well, scaringly high numbers here, but we have seen, in the conclave when the Pope was elected, no insider trading apparently there, because really the results came out, and then you saw the percent go from 1% to 100, so, or
Yeah.
less than 1 to 100. So yeah, we'll see. With all the signal leaks and other leaks, there is definitely possibility for insider trading here.
The
Unfortunately,
conclave was very, very well maintained. No one was leaking for sure. Or maybe no one at the Vatican was betting. Who knows? But yeah. This was the last page I visited on Polymarket. But yeah.
yeah, they literally seal off all outside contacts. So so for the rate changes, as you just covered there, no expectations of anything today. If anything is going to move the market in a couple hours, it's going to be the future signaling optics that the Fed plays, because they know that's all about optics to control inflation.
Oh, that's
What
right.
this means is expectations.
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
a also high probability of no change in July. They don't meet in August, it seems, but yeah, decrease or no change in September. Interesting.
that's
Yeah.
right. So September is the first time this year that they're predicting that price drop. I think the Fed is still pricing in, or has been signaling, two rate decreases this year. So they're thinking September and then potentially either October or December. So the market moving news would be something like a change from that, either an increase from 2 or a decrease in 2 in signaling, or some bad or good news. Inflation so far has been actually pretty steady and not ticking up from the tariffs, potentially because the tariffs haven't been doing as much as we thought. But there is concern about persistent inflation going forward. So everyone is watching kind of the optics and the expectations that the Fed is setting here, but not looking to a rate change today. So yeah, in the other news, we have some big news on Coinbase, some partnerships with JP Morgan. Yes, exactly. So JPMD stands for, I believe, JP Morgan Deposit Tokens. JPMD registered this trademark of JPMD, I think a couple of weeks ago, and lots of speculation of how they would be joining the on-chain movement. I believe they've played and tinkered with a lot of different blockchains, private blockchains, even public blockchains in the past. But this does mark a kind of big move on their part to enter the space. Big partnerships with Base to launch this deposit token that will actually be yield bearing in the future is planned for. I don't believe it might not be yield bearing right away, but they plan on having this yield bearing because it represents the deposits of kind of private clients. So yeah, this is something that's going to be on Base chain, permissioned, albeit. But what are your thoughts
No,
on
exactly. So
JP Morgan? Yeah,
I think the crypto markets, just regardless of like the brand, the chain or anything, it's just simpler for these banks. if you look at like the ACH system and like the Swift, it's like FTP servers. It's like extremely antiquated technology. And that's why it takes like T+1, T+2. It's like super, super inefficient. And it's just text files being kind of transferred between different servers. And I'd say that the best value prop is that it's simpler. This is 24/7. You don't even need to post like margin. It's instantaneous. They keep track of it. It's a pilot project I've seen, but it's just a way to kind of dip their toe. But there's going to be like easier for everyone to kind of maintain their positions this way and transfer. So could be JP Morgan, could be all banks. It's like an ARC20 wrapper, so you can wrap anything. But as you say, it's like tracking the deposits from these extremely like high wealth individuals. And what JP Morgan does is that they take these deposits, they lend them out, they do a bunch of stuff, buy treasuries, earn 5, 6, 7% on it. They give 0.1% to their depositors. So maybe that's the yield bearing component, the 0.1 or 0.5% they give to their depositors. It's similar to even Panoptic. Panoptic, you deposit funds, you trade with it as collateral with your funds. 100% of the returns go back to you. So we allow you to get 7% on the lending part. So I think it's like JP Morgan, is it Jamie Dimon is part of the head of, so he was extremely anti Bitcoin crypto, but when you see the technology, the advantages of having a perpetually unstoppable, like it's Coinbase, I guess, but unstoppable way to track your funds, then it's a good deal. Like less trouble for everyone involved.
What do you think of the permission aspect? Do you think they're going to put restrictions on transferring these things? Like you can't just YOLO it into Panoptic and Uniswap, or will you be able to move it around? Like what is the point if they're permissioning this? What's the scope of, you think, what they're trying to accomplish here?
I don't know. I think it's just the transfer maybe is possible. I doubt, and yeah, I doubt people will actually have control of these assets. It's just going to be tracked there. And if you request for a transfer in your bank, the bank does all of the processing. So it may be similar. So they own the keys, they own all of that, but it's tracked publicly. And you say, I want to transfer to my other account. I want to transfer out to another bank or USDC. Then they'll do all the management. So unless JP Morgan is, because they control the keys, are LPing in Uniswap, maybe not. But yes, I'd say that the it's fine. Maybe this is a good first step. Not quite there on the options on JP Morgan, but yeah, I would say that as this move forward, maybe you'll be transferable. But yeah, I would expect that this won't be transferable from day one.
Got it. So interesting. So it's like you're a client at JP Morgan, they tokenize that amount that you hold and represent it on chain, and then it's all settled. So if you need to add money, remove money, send money to other wells, it's being settled on the blockchain. Is that kind of the idea here?
I think so. Yeah, I actually did not read the announcement, but I think that was going to be in a way.
Yeah, they didn't really specify this announcement. There's not too many details.
Interesting. So this is Coinbase. This is Base. This is huge. Like Coinbase is kind of an institutional like provider. So it's interesting that this big bank, JP Morgan Chase, goes with Coinbase. I was looking at the stock, and that announcement came out last night, but then I don't know what happened, but this morning at 11, huge upswing on Coinbase or ticker Coin. I don't know if you know about anything that was.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things. I think the Genius Act regulating stable coins is much more likely to pass through. I believe it already passed through one of the bodies of Congress, and so it's likely to pass through the other. That could be a big
something this morning, just an hour ago, that happened. I don't know.
That is a good question. So they did. What did they do? June 7th. There was an announcement that this shouldn't affect you that much, but Coinbase derivative side did announce that they're adding USDC as collateral for their futures trading.
No, I think, I don't know. I don't trust this breakingthenews.net, but then seems like they want to tokenize stocks, and that is definitely bullish. I don't want to kind of go around, but yeah.
Yes, that is right. They were seeking the green light for tokenized stocks, trying to compete with the likes of of Robinhood and others.
It's on the
So
nil
what they're
base.
doing is pursuing a no action letter from the SEC. So they basically want the permission to not get sued by the SEC as they build out this tokenized stocks portion.
This is very bullish. Again, if it's on base, it's fine. It's less than ideal, but it's still kind of on the blockchain. Uniswap can work on these tokenized stocks. Panoptic for sure. You can have a parallel options market besides the one on the SIBO or kind of CME. You can do it on base. Yeah, very. I would also buy 10% more stocks, or at least value it 10% more if this is what's going to happen. Again, 24/7. It's going to be simpler. No need for like T+1. No need for clearinghouse shenanigans. It's all instantaneous. This is great.
Yeah, I mean, this 10% is probably a probability of them succeeding in this, because if they manage to bring some big tokenized stocks on, that could be bigger than their spot crypto volume potentially.
I mean, if you read the history, like Nasdaq was their first electronic exchange. Everything was trading floors. Everything was like paper slips getting passed around when you want to trade stocks. Nasdaq, it was from the 70s, but it's only like in the 2000s that they got the breakthrough, like with the dot-com bubble. But yeah, I think the maybe that's the vision for Coinbase. Yes, it's acting as the on-chain venue for trading. You may still have a lot of the same actors or exchanges accessing, but Coinbase provides the infrastructure at the back end. And yeah, I think that's again whatever Coinbase is doing. If they capture a lot of the stock market activity, yeah, it might be more than 10% more than what they are. So yeah, very bullish there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll see. They're definitely dominating the crypto space. So this is kind of a new field for them with stocks, because obviously they haven't had any stocks that I know of before. So they're looking to compete with Robinhood, take some market share there, or just be a new entrant. So very, very bullish. That's definitely the big price increase there is this announcement here.
Yep.
So they're making a lot of announcements. USDC collateralization for futures trading, Deribit acquisition recently to expand into options. Now with tokenized stocks to expand into equities. They're looking to be a behemoth and working with JP Morgan and other, I'm sure, Goldman Sachs, other big banks that want to explore. I think there's a lot of them now signaling. I can't remember the figure, but a large portion of the Fortune 500 companies are planning on doing something on chain or playing with these ideas more seriously this year in 2025, thanks to the regulatory barriers, which was the major
exactly. And it's the Stablecoin Act. It adds some kind of clarity, and it's not a lot, but you can see the impact. Again, being not passing any bills or rules or kind of trying to kind of stop every growth was damaging for the past 5 years. Now it's like almost too good to be true. Like one law can actually unlock. Now companies can do it. JP Morgan in a way that they would not even touched before. Could be any payment processing company. Walmart, I think, also had plans for stablecoin just to make it easier for them to transfer between one side of the coast to the other. How do we transfer funds? So yeah, it's a we don't see it in the price action as much. Maybe the past few months we're kind of pricing this in slowly, but yeah, no, this is great. I don't know I don't know if the price of ETH changed over the past hour, but no, definitely not. It's very, very boomified.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, this one hasn't impacted ETH as much. This is impacting Coin, so very bullish for their business model. It's not clear how this would transfer over to Ethereum immediately.
No,
until
I mean, if I were a company and if you probably want to mint these coins on mainnet, have the certainty that Coinbase sequencers going down is not going to impact your balances. Again, the and then have again, there's still a way to access this if it's bridged, but you start with the L1 being the secured place for deployment, and then you bridge this, and maybe it's one bridge, one chain. But now, if anything happens, I mean, optimistic rollup allow you to kind of get the funds back, or at least kind of act on layer one, on layer two, in a way that you cannot do it the reverse. If it's tokenized on base, and base for some reason decides not to do anything of it anymore, then their funds are kind of stuck in a way.
Yeah, but what do you think of the JPMD? It sounds like it'll not only move around on base, but be tokenized or issued on there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a good step in the right direction. There are this partnership. I know who pays who the most, but there's a definitely like business agreement that needed to happen to make sure. Okay, Coinbase, don't ever stop doing the sequencing you do, and then JP Morgan will kind of play by the rules. Whereas if you do it on L1s first, you have again, people offer credibly neutral place for minting these assets. If JP Morgan wants to have some restrictions, they can build into this smart contract how they can trade it, but Coinbase now has no power, if you want, on these tokenized assets. Like a lot of folks moved their NFT minting to layer twos because it was cheaper. Oh my God, you don't have to pay the gas for minting NFTs back in like 2021, 2022. But I think it diluted the value. It's like, yeah, it's on Polygon, but yeah, Polygon owns them as opposed to being on Ethereum, where it's like a million validators kind of make sure it's neutral.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense to issue on Ethereum if you want this more permanent, secure, kind of serious, I guess, layer. Not, but we'll see, because yeah, base though popping off high TVL, I think makes sense as a partner with Coinbase. Who pays who? Who knows? But makes sense that that's the direction things are moving in. They've been everyone's been saying this, for the last few years. It's just been the regulatory clarity, as you mentioned. DeFi Llama chart here. What is this? The base TVL?
Yeah, base TV again. It's true. Lots of announcements. I forgot about it, but Base has from the main app you can trade on chain. You can trade, I guess, on Uniswap or CowSwap to buy a lot of more tokens than what they can list. Morpho is up there because they also have kind of this institutional lending part that is settled on chain on Morpho, but then accessed from their main front end. But yeah, I think and people talk about the volume and stuff, but it's definitely uh, the chain that most of the traditional markets would go to for accessing the on-chain data, opening the first step. Maybe their next offering will be on mainnet or not, but at least it's on chain, so it's composable, can do a lot with it. And the fact that you can access from the base main app, it's abstracted away. You don't even have to worry about your management of your keys or seed phrase. I think Rosalie said this in their live stream or the debate. Like she would go to Chinatown, buy some Bitcoin, they would print the seed phrase to you on a piece of paper. No need, and then she said it's gone. Like the host Bert had like a bunch of these slips, and then he would want to sell some, so he would take it out of his safe or whatnot, get get moving and sell it. But yeah, I think that's
Wow.
the future of Coinbase is that maybe link the bridge between on chain, where it's for nerds like us, but then not for everyone, and off chain, which is that one interface that allows like all these interactions to happen seamlessly.
Well, yeah. This is how you onboard the boomers and the and all the people who don't want to touch on chain at the start. They're already on Coinbase. They're using it. Coinbase is the big gate for this. So we're very bullish on Base. And what do you think? Like, yeah, Solana has been popping up lately, though. Why not issue these on Solana in the minds of JP Morgans and others?
I mean, there is value to be a publicly listed company. You have some disclosures, you have some like reporting requirements. You're based in the US, but then you have to obey some rules from some jurisdictions. Could be Delaware, it could be something else, which is a lot more secure. And if Brian Armstrong decides to do something that's bad for everyone, there's a process in place for like governance, replacing the CEO. There's a whole infrastructure that is quite resilient, and these teams and these kind of companies are used to it. They know about corporate governance, and the way that Coinbase does it is language that they can understand. The way maybe Solana does it, or it could be Ethereum Foundation, it's a weird infrastructure, partly offshore. There's tokens involved. What is the token's value? Can you actually get rid of the dev team? Like there's a lot of new things that full protocols that aren't quite equipped to compete against Coinbase. So I would say that yeah, the Coinbase is the only one. Kraken again, you will talk about this. Kraken has now layer 2, has some tokens. It's trying to do what Base does, but yeah, Base is the only one in its league. It's like the only place if you want to be corporate trading with a publicly traded company, you just have to go with Coinbase.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem that Coinbase is leading the way. As you mentioned, Kraken is deploying this L2. They've announced plans for some type of airdrop with the Ink token. Coinbase, on the other hand, or Base, has announced that they have no plans for an airdrop or for a token on Base. As we know, this no plans speak just means right now. We're not doing anything. So stay tuned. So who knows? I think Coinbase has the competitor first move advantage here. Kraken's kind of seems like it's playing catch up right behind, but of course Kraken does have its own loyal base of more what I see as more advanced users and less so of the grandma and grandpas and boomers, let's say, on crypto. So yeah, I think this though is very exciting for crypto and DeFi users who want to get a stake in this Ink token. They announced no governance, no theater, just aligned incentives from day one is what they posted on their X account. So
I mean, this is interesting. I don't know if Kraken wants to go and do an IPO like Coinbase did. I don't know what the token is.
I think they did say something about intentions to do that. Yeah.
So I don't know what the token is going to do. Again, there's the Ink Foundation. It's a separate entity. Even if I were the CEO of JP Morgan, like I have Coinbase, which is boomerified, I guess, very, very standard. Now we have Kraken, which could be a stock, but now we have this other entity that is kind of unlinked. So yeah, I would I don't know what the token's going to do, but yes, I would say that this makes it a bit different, quite a bit from what people expect from the Coinbase side. So yeah, the Kraken announcement, they talk about Coinbase as well. But yeah, I think it's fine. The incentive, if it's just providing tokens, getting rewarded from providing liquidity, this is great. Maybe you sell the token right away or you do something useful with it too. But yeah, how does it loops with the potential Kraken stock? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Kraken hasn't announced an IPO date yet. They do have their eyes set on IPOing after seeking more regulatory clarity. But they do look like they're more ready to dive in and just drop a token. I think other U.S. companies have been much more hesitant to like Coinbase and OpenSea and others. So we'll see. It's good to have competition in the space. It's great to see Kraken launching this. I don't know if we need more layer twos, but Kraken is standing behind this one. So we'll see where that goes. And of course, Panoptic on Base right now. We're very bullish on Base. We launched a trading competition, and right behind me, I don't know how well you can see this beautiful image behind me of a chair with the pillow. That's right. We can zoom in here.
Look at this. Oh, no. Okay,
yeah. So this is our prize. The man that is propping up everything. I read something about.
Yeah, who would be stuck with that first prize? Who knows?
So you want this? You definitely want this.
This is the volume part. So yeah, there's one account, Nickel Alchemist, that is gunning for that pillow for sure. Looking forward to see this. And I think Nick, again, he was losing a little bit now still, but yeah, gunning for that first prize in the volume. The first trading account, again, 3% may not seem like much, but this market has been sideways, so it's actually quite hard to do a profitable trade maybe on BTC, but this is a bullish trade that is paying off mostly on Streamia. So this is one account that seems to be selling options and being number one, which is quite impressive. And yeah, most of it also comes from the fees too. So this is also very cool.
Yeah, that is impressive because last competition we saw pretty much only option buyers really being at the top. Huge price moves. We saw over 50, over 100% account values here. With these crab markets, it's really hard because directional bets are going to be costing you money rather than earning you money. So it's nice to see these kind of volatility harvesting strategies of selling options, earning some premia over time, playing it managing your risk safely. So that's nice to see the top user kind of being a more risk-minded user.
And then, yeah, long term, to some extent, that's the only way to be profitable in any markets. If you're buying options in a bull market, that's great, buying calls. But then if it reverts, then you can lose a lot. So, yeah, selling options allows you to be always a slight edge in your advantage. Again, it doesn't always work. Sometimes get wiped out. But if it's a sideways market or one that doesn't move much, selling options is the way to go for sure.
That's right. And part of the reason we made this contest a little bit longer, extends till the end of the month, kind of aligns the incentives to be more consistent. Not going to get one lucky trade and win it all. You have to manage it throughout the days. And that is a big part of options trading, I think, is kind of this small but consistent gains. Protect yourself on the downside, but take the little win. So it's all about probability of profits, how much you're making each trade, right?
And I'm without picking on anyone. One of the losing, like down 3%, they bought options. So again, this is kind of most of the losses through paying. So the price hasn't moved, went back and forth, but it's back to where it was. But because they are buying an option, yeah, they are kind of paying a bit, and that's kind of where they lose. So yeah, no, they definitely, it's fine if the price does go back to 90,000, they'll be number one for sure, making 100%. But yeah, it's a back and forth for sure.
Well, wonderful. It's not too late to join. We have still 13 more days here. And we're giving prizes to the top 50 winners. And so lots of prizes give out here. We have USDC, almost $5,000 in USDC that we're giving out to the top participants, and over 5 million Panoptic incentive points. So you don't want to miss out. That's a juicy amount of points. That 1 million points, I believe, for the first place winner. So join in and claim your stake. We still have 12 days to go, and lots. If you think you can do better than 3%, you can win 1 million points and a lot of USDC. And if you want to trade a lot, you'll get this beautiful pillow.
3% doesn't seem like much, but 3% in 2 weeks, and then you multiply this by 100, it could be quite a bit if you have a 102 weeks period in a year. So I think that's it. Yeah, we're top of the hour. This was great. I think I also have to jump to another meeting. This was great. Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Rosalie. JP Morgan entering the fray. This is interesting. But otherwise,
when options, JPMD collateralized options.
I mean, you can imagine they could do lending. They could like have this be part of collateral. They could be part of the whole ecosystem. So it's like the first step. But at least we know from the crypto side all of what you can do with any tokenized assets. You can list them on Aave, could be Morpho, could be Ola, could be Panoptic. But the key point is that it's now available for these new enabling technologies, not just kind of keeping track, but now keeping track, earning yield, collateral, losing it all if you want. But yes, another way to think about this.
Wonderful. Well, this has been Good Options Hour. We can cue the music and have a good week. We'll see you on Friday, where we'll cover the best and worst trades on base for this trading competition.
Right. See you guys. Thanks a lot.